So turtle, this is what turtle is. It's also called turtle guard. It can be pretty effective if you know how to use it, especially a lot of times guys go to defense for this, but there are things that you can use offensively. As white belt, I was Kimuran people all the time from this position. And you typically get that as if somebody's in turtle and you reach this far arm in and they get a hold of that arm, you can basically just spin on you and come on pretty hard. So that taught me to just never really stick my arms in. Everything's about controlling the hip and sitting here being here. If I'm gonna reach my arm in, I'm gonna go straight for this. I'm gonna pull on it and get it nice and tight, put my elbow back into his hip, and I'm gonna start being heavy. So, what do we think about when we're attacking turtle? There's two different things we can start to attack in my opinion. I can try to open him up and get my hooks in and start trying to attach myself to his back. i.e. getting my hooks in and controlling his hips. Being on his back, attacking his back. Or I can start going for head and shoulder control. There's crucifix, there's inverted triangles, lots of fun stuff if you got long legs like me. But we can also start just attacking the back, which is what we're gonna be doing today. How to open it up. Because what he's doing, he's getting here real low, and I have to get my feet in here, my hooks, in these really tight spaces. So there's ways to open them up. Guys who are strong, you're not just gonna be able to force yourself in there. And when you're thinking about this, if I'm on his back and I get too high, and I'm trying to get both my hooks in from behind, I can also get thrown and roll. So first thing that I tend to do is I immediately get this grip, or not the grip, I get this position and I go chest to back. So I wanna be heavy, but I don't wanna be too far over. I start typically looking for this grip so I can start to open up. This is gonna be a little bit more aggressive. We're gonna open up the head and shoulders, but I can also keep his posture controlled by just pushing the head down. Now, I'm grabbing my hand, kind of like a half Nelson, just pushing it down with my forearm. All right? So the grip that I'm doing, I'm just getting my hand, going under the armpit. What I'll start to do is I'll just sit on his leg and I'll start to open up, if I can, but it's just to start to open him up. Eventually, I need to get my foot thrown over, okay? So no matter how you attack this, if we're gonna be sitting here, if I wanna control somebody, you gotta get your hips around and start getting your grips in. And we can sit here and I can be pretty safe. It's up to him to try to move and get me off his back. We can start to open up the head and shoulders. Or what we can do is get here and I like to reach on his hip. I step back and I pull really, really hard. What I want him to do is post out. When he posts out with his leg, in order to keep him getting rolled over, I slide my hook in. And then I go real heavy again. And now I'll take my grip back. And at this point, roll in, throw a hook in. Questions? Okay. So, we start attacking the turtle. We're here, right? I don't want him to get away from me and get in control. Pulling him back. I'm just sitting with my hips to the side. He can't really get away from me. I have head and shoulder control, controlling his posture with my forearm. Now, if I can't get my hook in, he's being super tight, we're gonna let go of this. We're gonna pull the hips and try to get him to open up so I can slide my foot in. If he starts falling over at this point, it's pretty easy to just get this grip, go right into seatbelt. All you're trying to do is open your opponent up. Questions?
That back leg is stapling his ankle, yes?
This one?
Yep.
Back here? Yeah, I'm just kind of holding him real tight. It's just kind of habit. I put a shin over the back of the calf, super uncomfortable. But what I'm really trying to do is just stay close. So if he tries to move, he can't roll away from me. If I need to throw a hand in here, everything's just controlling the hips. But usually, pull really, really hard. As soon as he starts trying to adjust, staple, throw a hook in, throw it out. Questions? 1, 2. This is what is a lot of people are like, oh, don't give up your back. If you're giving up your back, you're trying to close up every possible means for me to become a backpack on your back. Get head and shoulder control, and primarily getting hip control. So you're not just gonna let me pull you and you're gonna fall over. What you're gonna do is when I'm down here and I pull to the side, you're gonna plant over and try to keep these holes covered up. At this point, when I pull, or you give pressure, or move them into the inside, and that hole comes open, you slide your hook in. I like to throw it over the calf. Now, when we're here, you're not golden. You still have to get control. I'm starting to get hip control. I don't have head and shoulder control. So if I'm I'm gonna take the back and I need to open him up. And he's in here nice and tight, and even tighter now because I got one hook. And this arm comes in and closes this up. And he gets closer, and he gets even tighter. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just shove a hand in here. And then this forearm is gonna come across the back of his neck and head. I'm gonna find my hand, I'm gonna do this chain grip here. So when I get this chain grip, I'm not falling backwards and pulling him. I'd probably never be able to do that to like Jake, you know, the tall, big guys here, maybe even Willie, probably even Patrick, he's been working out. Bigger guys, especially females, pulling on someone like this, it's gonna suck. That's the long way, and it's not jiu-jitsu. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna fall towards him. I've got my hook, I put all the pressure, don't let him sit up, and as I'm falling towards him, I've still got my hook, I'm opening him up, I throw my other hook in, and now I can get my seatbelt, and for me, I'm always gonna go body try. That's how you open them up. You know, pull them back. This is still technique, and at any point you're using a lot of strength, you're not using jiu-jitsu, okay? So this technique is just, there's many different ways to do this. I'm not telling you the only way to take the back. We're going through one technique, okay? That's it, and this is something that's really worked for me. The new wave squat, I know they do that. You gotta look at how people react. And if somebody's here in this position, and I want to get a hook in, and he's got all these holes closed, he's not gonna let me pull him over on his side like that. It's a whole new world of problems to deal with. What he is gonna do is he's gonna react, and something's gonna come out. It may be that arm. That arm plants out, I can do the exact same thing. Throw this in, and now, for me, this is great. But you'll see people's reactions. And the more you do this, and you just log those reactions, and you'll see different ones, but though relatively, you'll see the same set of reactions of people that train jiu-jitsu on a regular basis. Questions?